Um, what's going on, everybody? Hashtag Data Spartan back with a new video today. And I am joined by Clare Knight. She is the founder and CEO of DA-X. So Clare, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Pleasure to be here, Lance.
Yeah, awesome. So what I want to talk about today is you came up with some really interesting stuff. It's basically, how do you hack your focus when you're already feeling at your maximum capacity? And I feel like in the world we live in right now, that's really, really relevant. So can you kind of give a little bit of context and a background into why that's happening and sort of a couple of things and how we can fix that now?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Lance. This is something that me and my team have been talking about a lot recently. You know, we're a relatively small team in an Insurtech startup, and we are running 1,000,000 miles an hour. And we often find that that to-do list is a little bit too long, and that can get a little bit scary sometimes. So this year we've kind of done a bit of reading and done a bit of research and tried to figure out some ways that we can hack that. So how can we 10x our result without 10xing our effort, because we're already max capacity, right? And looking into this, there is a bit of a massive focus crisis going on. And I think we see it in ourselves. And when we talk to each other, we see our attention span really is shrinking. And I think it's happening to all of us. And I think it's not necessarily about our weakness. I suspect that it's, you know, the changes in the way that we've lived have poured acid on our ability to pay attention. I've done some reading recently, and one doctor has described it as an attentional pathogenic culture in which it is hard to form and sustain deep focus, right? Deep focus, a thing where we really, really get stuff done. Yeah. So that was really interesting to me. And looking at some numbers, you know, 57% of Americans never read a book in any given year anymore. So Hewlett-Packard, who are the front runners in the 4-day week research, which in the UK has really flown, by the way, the results are just being out for that. The average worker sits at a desk for 8 hours a day, but they only concentrate for 3 of those. So that's really interesting. So that's huge. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes into this, but we've wanted to focusing on ourselves and look at what we were doing. And one of the obvious ones for us was the attention stealing that social media was doing. And I know that we're on LinkedIn, so this is a little bit of irony here. But I think that the problems aren't inherent with the technology itself. I think there are ways that we can make these bits of kit work for us. But I think that there's a really deep issue when you look into the social medias, and you know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok being the worst. But it's important to understand how these companies are taking your attention and why, right? So you've got to look at who is the customer, right? How does Facebook make money? 2 ways. One is adverts. The second and significantly more valuable way is that everything that you do on these platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, it's scanned and it's sorted to build a profile of you. And there are thousands of data points that build up a very, very complicated picture of you, which they then sell to the advertising companies so that they can target you specifically. So every time you open one of these social media channels, they are making money out of you because they can build that profile even better and they can make more money selling it to advertisers. So every time you close it down, they're no longer making money. So that's the impetus to keep you scrolling, right? The whole business model was to hijack your attention, and it's done intentionally and consciously. And it's worth noting that you are not the customer of Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. You are the product that they sell to the advertisers.
Interesting. That's kind of scary in a way. So I guess kind of, you know, wrapping things up, for anybody that's watching this and like, look, yeah, that's me. Like, I'm spending so much of my time in the day, you know, not being productive. What sort of actionable insight can you give people to, like, right now, how do I kind of like do that hard reset and that flip?
Yeah, so I did this a few years ago, actually, and then I turned back on it, and then I came back on myself again. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. Okay, turn off the notifications straight away. And actually, when it comes to focus, so me and my whole team have done this during the workday. on our iPhones, we switch it to work focus. And in work focus, there are 0 alerts at all. The only way that you can be contacted is through a phone call. So we keep our phone on and we can be contacted through a phone call. The same way with our laptops, we switch off all alerts, any Teams alerts, any internal messaging system you've got, email alerts, switch everything off, absolutely everything. Yeah. And then it's in your power to choose when to go in and to read your emails, or to check your WhatsApp messages or your Teams messages. And this is the case, even though my product owner before has always said, there's no way I can do that because my tech team needs to be in touch with me 24/7 and the rest of it, right? Actually, this year, he has found it to be a massive, massive game changer in the amount of output that he can get from a day, because he can focus on a task, right? Not forgetting that anytime that you get distracted from a task, you get in that flow state. If you've ever been in that flow state, right, it's amazing. If you get distracted from that, it takes on average 23 minutes to get back into that state of flow. So that's one little buzz from your phone, 23 minutes to get back into that state of flow. So it's had a massive impact on us. So my one big takeaway action is switch off every single notification when you're at work. It makes a huge difference.
It's interesting. It's so funny as you say that, like my phone's literally buzzing like Slack messages. But anyway, thank you for joining me. That was great, guys. Have you got some good value out of that? I know I did. Claire, thank you. And guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Thank you.